Hey everybody, how's everyone doing? So yeah, looks like good stuff. So yeah, hold on to the prayer request for a few minutes. We're gonna let people get online, and then uh, and then I'll take those. Probably about 2:05. Remember, if you're gonna put in a prayer request, be sure to start by saying prayer request. I don't read them when I'm copying them, so the only way I know it's a prayer request is if you put prayer request at the beginning. But we'll talk about all that here in a minute. Um, Trying to think how's everyone doing? Does anyone have any cool um, stories to tell? Any results that they got from, well, not just last week, but from any time in the past? I'm not seeing nothing. Usually, I think most people are typing their prayer request and just holding until I say ready, so no one wants to really say a whole lot at the beginning. So, well, that's cool. Somebody had some peace. They had lots of energy. That's awesome. Yeah, all kinds of little things. That's cool. Um, yeah, I haven't had anything dramatic from like the stuff that we're working with here, but I haven't really. Um, but just things in general just kind of are just better since we've been doing this. Um, we had that kind of emergency situation, but it's all worked out, and things are kind of nice and peaceful right now. There's just I do feel like there's some stuff that wants to come out, some stuff that's been bothering me, but we'll talk about that when we're done. I kind of want to ask you guys' opinion on something. So if you guys want to remind me whenever we get done, um, like that I said that there was something I wanted to ask you guys. So try to remind me of that. All right, so yeah, let's go over the rules on the prayer request again. Don't put them in yet, but um, oh, really, someone's been doing the domino mantra that I did for luck from Deadpool 2, the pop culture magic. That's fun. Um, so yeah, with the prayer request, remember just start. Don't put it in until I ask, and I'm only going to take them up to for only about 5 minutes, and then that's it. There won't be any more. Um, Try to make them simple and easy to read. Remember that you only need to put it in once. Don't do repeats, especially of the same thing. Um, just try to be considerate. I mean, and don't ask for something that's in the prayers already. Something generic like I need money, I need love. That's already in there. Like ask for something specific that you need or have been working for. Um, almost all of the general type stuff is already covered by the prayers, and so you don't need to have an added more prayer for something because it's already been prayer for. So just one time and try to be specific for something that we're not already asking for. So go ahead and put in your prayer requests, and forgive me if I'm quiet here for a minute while I copy and paste. And here they come. Okay, just a little bit more if you want to get yours in. You got to get it in soon. All right, I guess that's it. All right, thanks everyone for sending in your prayer request, and we'll get started here in just a second. Okay, let's take a moment, kind of get settled. Let me get the lamen. God, my hair looks like I haven't washed it in a week. Does not look that bad in real life. It's just, I don't know, it's weird. I washed it last night. It hasn't been that long. Okay, we got the ring, got the lamen. All right, let's take a moment, center ourselves, take a few deep breaths. Listen, all you who hear me. The Father is mysterious, everlasting, and transcendent. The Mother is here and is all things, all that we can see and don't see. We are the holy children, and together We are who create reality and have the privilege to experience and explore creation. Let us join together now as one in prayer and create a new world. In the name of the Father, the Mother, and the Holy Children, let our hearts become a holy temple and our minds a holy throne. Enter God all-powerful and dwell in the temple of our spirit. Let our thoughts be as immaculate light and our gratitude become an unconquerable power. Gilaba, Gia Dua Ayin, Iaida, Extentasser, Ad, Anaromi, Gemonans Noan, Ne Sia Ian, Gemana Ne, Oxia Ya, Zimi Ya Iran, Ad Fayans Asia Ian, Agiga, Ge Engelad Noan Alpiert, Agi Ekrin, Noan Ugeg Mikals. A prayer to the Mother for divine authority and power. Galva, show oneself, sink into me. Bring down the flaming temple of your seething loins upon my mighty sword. Be thou my drunken harlot. I inhabit your throne in heaven in the joy of God. Thunder understanding underneath me. Groan the secrets of holy mysteries into my mouth. Bring forth the philosopher's stone and become my handmaid. Galva Zamran, Karbath Yol, Drix, A Ialpo, Sia Ian, Ge A Ura, Dax Mire, Ol Mikalze, Napta, Bol Al Orspa, Babylon, Ol Zodirega, Gi Oxia Yal, A Madriax, Ola Mozad, Avavago, Mikath, Oraka, Ol, Hodo La Iad, Daniel Kiklis, Eol Butman, Yolka Madar, No One, O Kirst. She who is the end, Mother of all, pray for us. Open the eye of our heart so that we can see the secret truth of the heavens, so we can see the face of the highest, so we can become the most powerful. I pray that all confusion of our own power be destroyed. Open our eyes to the truth. The spirit of man magnifies the spirit of God and is the Holy Spirit. We are the creator. We create creation. I am the Lord your God. I am what I am. Galva extentasser lava lapke. Odo o uanam. Argemanans arge arget uran a la yad veoan. Dia matriax. Arge arget a adoayin. De iaida. Arge arget no one a iaidan. O lava tolunke. De gi mikal zimran. Kirasab. Odo ge uaam. Tuaveawan. Aga de kordzis ovaf. Aga di iad. Ad zir. Kamgamfi. Ge zirdo aka al. Aka as kean. Zirini ayad. Gahawakma. A prayer to banish all curses and wicked spirits. United as one in prayer, we now ask for the freedom from all oppression, from all curses and harmful spirits. Take a moment to feel how much you hate being oppressed by a curse or harmful spirit, and as I perform the banishing, transform that feeling into gratitude as though you were already free. I, Jareth Tempest, by my own name and by my own authority, banish all curses and evil spirits from all who hear my voice and desire liberation. Ol Arpan Tol Lama, Ad Tol Babylon, God Tol Desopath. In the name of Yia Idan, the all-powerful and Ziladar, who stretches forth and conquers, I banish all curses and evil spirits from all who hear my voice and desire liberation. Ol Arpan Tol Alma, Ad Tol Babylon, God Tol Desopath. In the name of Galva, Lady of the Apocalypse, and Mother of all angels and abominations, I banish all curses and evil spirits from all who hear my voice and desire liberation. Ol Arpan Tolama Ad Tol Babylon, God Tolos to Solpath. I place all who are willing under my wing and my protection. I call upon the mercy of the kings of the four watchtowers, Bata Eva, king of the watchtower Exarch, Ra'agios, king of the watchtower Hakoma, Igzeheheka, king of the watchtower Nanta, and Edlaparna, king of the watchtower Bitom, to open their gates and send forth their legions, to set up a hedge of protection around everyone who listens to my voice right now and who desires to be protected. Build an impenetrable fortress around us and keep us safe. Blans par de Solpath, Yolkom, Givi Patriarchs, D Blans, Blonsgi. And now feel your gratitude for being delivered of your oppression, and take a moment to know that you are safe and protected. Filled with divine authority and now free from the influence of harmful spirits, I will recite the first key to unlock the heavens so we may summon the angels of the day to do our will. O som vors goho iadbaut lengs kal zonvro, sobra zaol, roar et nas pa gra ta malpir dis hol ka a nathoa zims ad koma, ta nubla zion, soba thilganop, perge, aldi odds verbs, obela kasarm, ohorla kaba pir odds and regza cap Yadna Pila, Farms, Zerza Adna Dis Gono Iadpal, Dis Horn Ad To Soba Ipam, Louis Palmas, Dis Laholo, Vebzam Heomal, Ad Barpa, Aai, Ta Pia Piamo, Iad Veowan Zakare, Ka Ad, Zomran Orokikte Ka Azorga, Labzira Noko Mad Heoth, Yaida. Invocation for all the angels of Sunday. In the name of Ya'Idan and Yabis, this day of the sun, I, Jareth Tempest, conjure you, all the angels of Sunday. Lord Sol, the illuminator, king of all the stars and begetter of vision. O Lord Sol, whose angels nurture and cause the herbs and the trees to bear fruit, who adorn the whole world with majesty, who banishes adversities in the darkness. Lord Sol, the embellishment of priceless things, the beauty and majesty of pearls, gold, and precious stones, the glory of kings and the thought of judges. I, Jareth Tempest, conjure you, all angels of this day, servants of Lord Sol, who is inconceivable, incomprehensible, who sees the powers of heavens and understands the splendors of Ya'Ida. I conjure you, all the angels of this Sunday, luminous spirits of Lord Sol, the candle that burns before the dark and dreadful Zilodar. I am Jareth Tempest, and you will not disobey me, for I know who I am. I am the child of wisdom and lover of Galva, the mother, the end of all things. I remember that I'm Gaho Akma. I am what I am. I am Yido Ego, he that sits on the holy throne. I am Yia Idan, the all-powerful. I conjure you by the mysterious and powerful name of the outer circumference. Horwin, by the seventh who governs the seven, Hedem Hia, by the archangel of the sphere, Raphael, by the archangel of creation, Michael, by the unspeakable name of God, Wazir, by the daughter of light, Iana, by the son of light, Damal, by the daughter of the daughter, Izad, by the son of the son, Liba, by the archangel of the sun, Sameliel, by the rulers of the Heptarchy, King Kamara and Prince Baganol. I conjure you, King Bobogel, magnificent king of the sun, Prince Bornogo, ruler of the hours of Venus, Governor Bonifon, ruler of the hours of Mars, Governor Bonafa, ruler of the hours of Jupiter, Governor Barigas, ruler of the hours of Mercury, Governor Buskanop, ruler of the hours of Saturn, and Governor Babliblo, ruler of the hours of Luna. And your above name and powers I conjure you, and all your angelic ministers. Grant your grace, power, virtue, and wisdom in all that we now ask. I, Jareth Tempest, do summon you all now, and charge you to obey and to serve me, my wife, my loved ones, all my friends, students, clients, and all who hear these words, and everyone who calls on you in my name, and carry us all through life in a state of playful wonder and well-being. Let love, health, abundance, prosperity, success, belonging, victory, freedom, and everlasting joy flow forever into our lives. Be with us and bring success in all the works we attempt this day, this week, and all the days of our lives. Turn back all foul fortune from us. Bring us only good fortune. Guide us where we need to be. Teach us what we need to know and show us what we need to see. I seal this command with the word of power, Agla. A prayer to end suffering. We cry aloud for all who weep. Those whose bodies are in torment, they are healed. Those whose thoughts are confounded, their minds find peace. Those whose lives are lamentation, they are comforted. The lonely find love and the defaced find beauty. Where there is war, we demand peace. With their empty mouths, we demand a rich harvest. Where there are poor, we demand gold. Where there's wrath and torment, we demand deliverance and justice for the wicked. Where the wicked reign, we demand righteousness. We do not humbly pray for this, we demand it. Not in time, but this day. We are the holy children. We are God and we are the mother. We speak with the speech of God. We open our mouths and create heaven out of torment. We invoke all the holy servants of God from all the heavens to create a kingdom of love, a kingdom of peace, a kingdom of joy. We demand the kingdom of heaven this day, so that all weeping is only a memory by this night. Ge baha no one told directir, soba kinirima no one gemir, par no one kakam, soba angular no one unki, par mana no one in tharzi, par soba apila no one in iofan, par no one glioria, saga momans, raklir no one bliorga, tono no one turbs, kuian da trian, somfanas pad gefifis in tharze, kuian da trian alpha butman gefifis las azigiar, kuian plasin no one raklir, alpha limla gefifis adkal, kuian da trian, vormfog ad mir gefifis zonrezig, ad baut no one a Babylon, kuian Babylon bagpa gefifis balto. Ge ibzura, lava no one oi, gefifis, ib capimeo oi buskim, di ad anenoromi, gen no one iada. We no one exentasa ad ge cameliax, al laugeth, ge odo butman ad kaas madriax, gedamir, ge argedko to anenokoad, da iad alto madriax, de kaas lando din bliorga, lando din tharze, lando di mas, gefifis lando de madriax, oi baskiem adraklir, pop noi oi virk. A prayer for the dead. We now remember those who have come before us, and we pray for their souls, that they find their way to the place of peace and healing in the next world. So feel your desire for your ancestors to help the lost and unhealthy dead, or anyone who has recently died. Then as you pray, turn that into gratitude as though you've received 1,000 blessings from your ancestors. We look back on our ancestral bloodlines and call to those ancient ones who shine with wisdom and love. We honor you. We praise you. We pray you work in healing the dead in torment. We also pray that you look for all in our bloodlines and light their walk to your home. Shelter the dead in peace and heal their hearts. We praise you, all wise ancestors. We think of you and we sing your praises. We also humbly pray you shine your wisdom and light on all of our works. Gedorfa ge teloa, kinila ad ardget, desorge teloa dis lohomiketh, ad bliorga, ge iadrix, nonke, ge oakrimi nonke, ad lava nonke veol, ge kakama agam gemir, ge lava nonke dorfa, to ge teloa, kinila opirit, oi insi desalman, blonza teloa gen tharzi ad page, ad kakam, oi manans, ge oakrimi nonke, ge sorge teloa, ge angular nonke ad, ge oakrimi, ge zura lava nonke loholo miketh, ad opirt kato, ge consibra. A prayer for reconciliation with the world. We pray for the soul of the world and for all of her daughters and sons. We repent of destroying her children and despoiling her treasure and making her diminish. Open our eyes so that we can see our spirit community. Open us to hear their weeping. Open our hearts so that we can flourish together. We pray to hear their wisdom and to act on it. Ge lava agad ke ad tol til pasabs ad nor ge mua ge Herzar til Noromi, ad Irazad, til Limlal ad Ol, til Herzar, Oda ge Ua Ona, de Uam Kafafum, av Zorge ga, Odo ge Solpeth, oi Raklir, Odo ge Monans, oi Geto kakam, gelava sorpeth gi mikath, ad sorte. A prayer for health. In the name of He that lives in supreme life, I invoke the She that is the end. We sing praise to your glory. I pray to you for the health of all who listen to my voice and all of their loved ones. Let your face be friendly and shine healing on us. Repent our death. Hearken our groans and lamentations. I call on the holy servants of the Son to deliver us from torment. Let us flourish everlasting. Ga'adua ayin de iadpil ad yabes ol arget kod gava ge o krimi de gi bustier oi lava de gi la akniliman kakam de tol de solpath dio bia ad moman fafen bob odoa ian zorga ad loholo ka ge mua ge tilak toatar ge ugegi od iafan ol arget atolne no ka od da roar zon regs gemir trion kakam go ahead. A prayer for pleasure and prosperity. By the name of the highest and the name of the all-powerful, I invoke the mother of all. We praise your mighty beauty and power. I call on all the holy servants of the Son that I and all who listen and pray are lifted upon the pillar of gladness, and crown us a garland of gold, girdle us in treasure, and pour down glory and triumph upon us. Grant us to harvest of pleasure and joy. Ga'adua yin, ia ida, od ia idan, ol arget coex and tosser, galba. Ge or creme nonke comes turbs ad, launch. Ol arget atol nen noka ad, de aurora na ol tol de solpath de lava, ziron farms mirk and nazareth, ge momar, ge oblak, de adkal, atra ge limlau, ad panpier, bustier, ad homta mirk ge, deluga, ge azia giar, de kirasahi, admad. A prayer for love and belonging. I invoke she who is the end, mother of the world. I pray for all of you who can hear my voice that you be loved and have someone to love. In her powerful name, I call on all the holy servants of the Son to cast out your loneliness, binding it in time for time everlasting. And I pray for true love of your life to manifest. I pray no scorpion separates you. I pray the two become one. I pray all of you find belonging among loving people. Ol arget kod galva extentasa, O lava lap tol, gedje sorpath, de ol biad trian, liorga ad bin molap, deb liorga, get til mikalzo, du ayin, ol arget atol ne noka ad, de aror de arpan, gesaga momans, donse, alar lap capimeo go head, ato lava, ge veoan, liorga, ka ad, o lava ad siatris tiliob nunque. O pre polo. O lava lap to noan kafafam. Eof zorge o lag. A prayer for justice. Highest God, measureless light, creator of all things, life supreme, he that lives forever in the just one. Bring forth justice to the government. Cast down the harlots from their thrones. Lift up the servant. Give everything to the righteous. Cast down the powerful to hellfire. And crown a kingdom of justice. Ia ida, me office, opirt ka'al, ad tafglo, yabis ad pil, io iada, oiad, yolkambad de a nata'ab, arpan a Babylon par oxia yal. Farms a noko, deluga taflo dia baulit, arpana mikaos de donas donat mastasatos, momo elundo dia baulit. I will now read your prayer requests. For R, unblock and unbind their spiritual gifts, secure employment, harmony in life, clear guidance, stronger organization, and astral abilities, protection of their household, business, and finance. Yad Fifis Gigil. For RM to receive €1,000 by the end of August. Yad Fifis Gigil. For AW, clearing of whatever is causing the inflammation, also insight on how to get the best help for their mother. Yad Fifis Gigil. For ML to get fully booked in all their services, always and gain massive supporters to their Ko-Fi accounts. Yad Fifis Gigil. For JG, assistance to lay an optimal foundation for a life of long-term consistent happiness. Yad Fifis Gigil. For WW, that G connects with his magic and gains unshakable confidence in it. Yad Fifis Gigil. For MV, that they receive a bonus at work and that their business grows. Yad Fifis Gigil. For P, to improve their ability to read and understand blueprints and to work well under pressure. Yad Fifis Gigil. For VM, for $500 quickly so they can arrange to go to an expensive convention. Yad Fifis Gigil. For MB 28681, for A, specific improvement in difficulty in life situations. Yad Fifis Gigil. For G, for N, and I to have a heart-to-heart conversation about their feelings for one another. Yad Fifis Gigil. For SR, to improve their hairstylist skills and getting clients, and also to receive good money tips from clients. Yad Fifis Gigil. For A the W, for fruitful vitality, to understand and learn the new magical past before them, and a satisfactory work outcome after Tuesday. Yad Fifis Gigil. For MK, to heal and restore the health of their lungs. Yad Fifis Gigil. For K, to request an end to legal proceeding immediately. Yad Fifis Gigil. For S, for SB, is reconciled and happily married to her love KA, that S is blessed with €100,000. She received justice and health on all levels, and all her desires manifest easily. Yad Fifis Gigil. For DD, to receive £10,000 ASAP. Yad Fifis Gigil. For DV, everything to work out smoothly for their parents' health and specific situation and needs. Yad Fifis Gigil. For MSKTV, for success in their ministry, family, love, business, and growth in spirit communication, and swift and fulfilling careers, success for their wife. Yad Fifis Gigil. For the DW, to pass the autumn exams, slowed or stop aging, to focus for longer periods of time, and to successfully astral project and retain full knowledge and memory of it. Yad Fifis Gigil. For TZ, for T to excel in her job and successfully handle managers' tasks and during smooth bookings and error-free room listings and reservations. And they full mental health and mental focus and energy. Yad Fifis Gigil. For WB, for atrial fibrillation. Yad Fifis Gigil. For all breathing, heart bleeding, and health issues disappear immediately, and that they choose the most lucrative stocks tomorrow. Yad Fifis Gigil. For L, to help them to read, understand, and speak biblical Hebrew easily. Yad Fifis Gigil. For SAM, that the YouTube ministry is to grow and draw on continuous support and donations. Yad Fifis Gigil. For JT, for P to pay back taxes of the lot we bought from her and to have at least 10 new clients in August. Yad Fifis Gigil. For S, that their court cases be dismissed and that I have time to solve the problems that got them there to begin with. Yad Fifis Gigil. For DN, to get £1,500. Yad Fifis Gigil. For SG, to improve communication, overcome the tasks of the next 6 weeks in their work. Yad Fifis Gigil. For SD, for KA and SD to be married, SD and KA always get money and to have a house in the woods and be happy and wealthy with SD, grow in all ways, have children, grow old together. Iapifis. For GL, that D would be accepted to the school of his choice. Iapifis. For C, for MP to be free of pulmonary fibrosis, for RW to receive needed resources for themselves to reach a healthy weight. Iapifis. For TTN to help them understand, reconcile, and cultivate the Logos and get closer to God. Iapifis. For TV, that they sell some of their phones and get a couple of €100 profit this week. Iapifis. For R, to get the child support owed to them. Iapifis. For LALKA, to receive apology from R and to have her make amends financially to all three of them. Iapifis. For V888, for their business and shop to thrive on a daily basis, to manifest €5,000 to win the heart and romantic love of HS, and all the obstacles between them be destroyed. Iapifis. For LCE, for A to inherit all the money from their aunt. Iapifis. And finally, we pray for all the unspoken desires that we hold in our hearts. Feel the desire that for what you want, and then state what you want, either out loud or in your mind, and then transform your desire into gratitude as though you've already received it. Lord, answer our prayers. Iapifis. We sing praises to your name. Ge oakrime, de ge du ayin. And now the pathworking. This is path 12, the fourth path of logic and reason, the path of physical creativity to increase creativity. Close your eyes and imagine yourself walking out your door. Imagine you begin to walk north. There is a lush forest there. Walk through the forest and marvel at the tall trees. We now begin to climb upward, and the trees of the forest thin. We climb a high mountain. At the top, we see many more magnificent peaks around us. We climb down the mountain now, down into a rocky valley. As we continue to walk, we find ourselves in a sandy desert. The sky is dark, but full of stars. The Milky Way is brilliant. We walk into the desert, knowing that we are leaving all life behind and are nearing the end of the world. Finally, at the edge of a great chasm stands the angelic Watchtower of the Earth. It is tall and made of black stone. Hold the image of the black Watchtower of the Earth as I say. May we enter and safely pass through this black Watchtower of Earth. May we successfully traverse the fourth path of logic and reason, the path of physical creativity. May we obtain success in this initiation, thus increasing our creativity. We approach closer to the watchtower and see the green tourmaline gate. Its doors closed. Standing before the doors is the angelic guardian is near. He is a heavy masculine angel without wings. He wears a blue robe. He holds a moonstone that bestows clairvoyance. Try and hold this image in your mind as to say, oh, is near, a call to thee. Come and open for me the green tourmaline gate of the Watchtower of Earth which you guard. I ask to gain entry by the threefold secret holy name Mor Dial Hectiga. I open the gate with the key of earth. Sapa Zinii, Dui, Vead, Noas, Ta Ka, Anis, Adra Dorfa, Ka Ask, Ad Veans, Periposo, Tablior Kasam, Amkizi, Na Zarf, Af, Ad Dulugar, Zizap, Zilida, Keasogi, Tol Tor Ad Zekis, Is Ask, La Ta Viu, Ad Yada, Thildis Peral Hubar, Peal Arusoba Kumfa, Kis Ta La, Vis Ad Kako, Kasar Kanils, Ad, Dabs Kaa Sfeth Ars, Ziabliora, Ia El, Ed Nas Kiklis, Bagle, Ge Ia El. is near, walks up to you. A light shines about him. The light shines into you, penetrating you completely as he embraces you. He says, I am the angel of earth. I am the angel is near. I am the guardian of the green tourmaline gate. Enter the Watchtower of Earth. The green tourmaline gate opens. As you approach the gate, there is writing above it, Who is he that girdeth his sword unto him? Or what is he that is ready for the battle? Walk through the gate into the Watchtower of Earth. The floors and walls are made of black stone. You feel the power of earth moving through the stones. Fertility, stability, all the powers of nature. You feel the weight of the past and all of human angelic history. You feel the dead and your ancestors. I will repeat the threefold secret name for protection. Mor Dial Hectaga. Mor Dial Hectaga. Mor Dial Hectaga. We now come to a stairway leading up. Before it stands another angel. He is very masculine and athletic looking with small wings. He wears an orange robe. He holds a red ruby that bestows creative energy. You can feel powerful energy coming from the ruby penetrating you and filling you. He says, I am the Carabic angel of earth. I am the Carib Zabo. I am the guardian of the salt stairway. He embraces you, and again you feel his light shine through you. He says, throughout eternity, I manifest myself from earth to water within earth. Read the words written above the salt stairway and rise up through the Watchtower of Earth. You begin to climb the 12 steps of the salt stairway as you read the words. Excuse yourselves with men and gird up your garments to the travail. At the top of the stairs you enter the floor of the water within the earth and see a stone fountain. The air is cool and damp like a cave. You see a second staircase. The words above this stairway say, human policy cannot prevail here, as many are not faithful in these regions shall die a most miserable death, and shall drink of sleep everlasting. We now climb the second stairway. At the top of the stairs is another angel. They are androgynous and wear a yellow robe. You feel a power emanating from them that seems to bring your holy guardian angel closer to you. Unafraid, approach them. They embrace you. You feel they are bringing you closer to who you want to be. They say, I am Angpoi, they who divide thoughts. I am the angel of the cross of earth. I bear the cross of earth from water to air within earth. The floor of air within earth is dry with a cool breeze. You see a third stairway. Above this one is written, Behold, there are which rise and have lost their bodies, and there are also which rise and they rise in body. Climb the third stairway. It is cool and dry and smells of musk. You now step out of the tier of fire within earth. You see two majestic nude angels, the king of the Watchtower of Earth, Igzeheheka, and the goddess of the Watchtower of Earth, Heskika. If you identify as male, stand before the king. If you identify as female, stand before the goddess. Listen to their descriptions as you try to visualize them both. Both are dark-skinned. They emulate power. Their nature is to make things remain as they are. You sense they like to give things names and define them. Their presence fills you with a sense of identity and clarifies memories of the past. King Igzeheheka wears a black crown on his dark head and holds a black pinnacle in his left hand. The goddess, Heskika, wears a golden tiara on a head covered in black hair. She holds a black pinnacle in her right hand and a flower in her bud in her left hand. You will now embrace the king or goddess. Feel yourself melt into them and transform into them. Again, if you are King Igzeheheka, you are a beautiful, dark, strong-skinned man with a black crown and black pinnacle in your left hand. And if you're the goddess, Heskika, you are beautiful with dark-skinned and black hair and hold a black pinnacle in your right hand and a flower bud in your left. Now continue to imagine that you are the king or goddess and turn towards your consort who now faces you in the nude. Imagine you say, I am the good angel of man. I am the external center of the soul, and I do carry with me the internal character of that thing whereof one seeks to be a dignifier. Within lies a great secret, the conjunction and separation of the proportion of their times between the soul and the body of man. Happy, therefore, is the soul who beholds the glory of his dignification, and is partaker with him that is his keeper. May this be known unto men, so that the thickness of the earth cannot hinder their speeches, nor the darkness of the lowest air obscure or make dark the sharpness of their eyes. May this character be made manifest in me. Now smile at each other as you are in love. Slowly move towards each other and embrace. As I say the word Nanta, merge God King and Goddess of Earth together. And as you also try to hold the image of the black stone watchtower around you. Nanta, Nanta, Nanta. Continue to hold the image as I read. Thus has truth vanquished darkness. Even so I shall vanquish the world in the name of the spirit of power and truth. Thus I am sworn. But I cease for days to come, for they are delivered. Let them be therefore to me as days of repentance, for the end of 40 days must come, and this doctrine shall be written to all nations, even to the end of the world. The grain is yet the earth, and was newly consented within the earth. But when it springs and bears seed, the number shall be the last. A light begins to build within you. It builds and builds, as do the feelings of power flowing through you. Suddenly, the light grows so bright that you are blinded. A moment passes, and you are yourself again, standing outside the angelic Watchtower of Earth. Let us turn now towards the desert and walk back to ourselves. A prayer for union with the divine. While we thank Karamzam for the blessing and wonder of ourselves, may we see the truth. We pray for divine knowledge. Fill us with wisdom. Open our minds, hearts, and eyes so that we understand that we are not poor wretches, but are the holy children of the Holy Mother. Help us to understand that we are one with the Mother as she is one with the Father. And as they are one, so are we all one. Ge oa krimi kuranzam lapa a obela, a tila arget, ge uran vayawan, ge lava la yadna, deluga nanael, odo gemanan manans, uan noan, ar ge ge ya apakamam, crip no one, ne corzis, dia ne accentasa, deluga ama, gen no one saga a accentasa ka pi, no one a iad, no mig, paro saga, no one saga. Excuse me. The closing prayer. We praise you, all the holy servants of God. We praise you, Mother of the world. We praise you, God the Most High. Let us, holy children, go forth in love and power to speak the speech of God into creation and create a kingdom of heaven. Ge ur krimi ton ne nakaad dia iad. Ge ur krimi nonke exentasa. Ge ur krimi iad ida trion ge ni noromi tustax ge blurga ad vohim ne kamliax ad laugeth ge ne kaad ad kaas londo de matriax. In the name of the Father, the Mother, and the Holy Children. Ga dua ian ia ida a arxentasa ad ne noromi paid. So I was looking at the pathworkings, and next week we will start the path of grounding, and then there's just those four. and that will be the end of the Watchtower of Earth, and we will start working on the pathworkings for the Watchtower of Water. So about another month in the Watchtower of Earth before we move on to the Watchtower of Water. So we're moving along. Right away, someone's like, okay, I'm reminding you, okay, so basically, I've been seeing a lot of posts about Monier and people asking about Monier and things. And I wanted to ask you guys if you wanted to hear my story of Monier from my point of view and what I know about him. Or would you rather just let things lie? It's not a great story for him. It's not something that's going to help your opinion of him if you have a high opinion of him, or what. I don't want to speak ill of the dead, but at the same time, I feel like by keeping what I know, it's almost like a toxin inside, and it's like every time I see someone, especially in my group, praising him, it really bothers me. Let's put it in a lot of the posts that I've been making lately, where I'm talking about like beware of leaders and teachers and stuff. It's kind of being directed at that, and the story like really wants to come out. It's been a long time, so. And if I'm doing it, I'm going to do it here. I don't want to write about it. I don't want to post it in the group. If I do it, I'm going to tell the story here after one of these prayer things. I'm not going to do it now, but I just wanted, since it's going to happen here, if I do it, I wanted to see if you guys were for it or against it. Because if, as the regulars, you're the ones that are here every week, it's usually the same group. If you were just totally against it, I wouldn't do that. And it seems like in general, people kind of look, are wanting it or they don't care. All right, well, I'll think about it. And if I decide to do that, I might do that next week, or I'll let you guys know. Like in the group, in the 151 group, I'll probably at least announce that I would do that, so that anyone else who wanted to be there could be there. All right, but yeah, thank you. I just I wanted to kind of get a feel. I mean, I know that we've got about 40 people here, and only a few of you are saying anything. So I'll think about that and I'll let you know. But yeah, I appreciate you giving me your thoughts. What do you think or stand about free will autonomy? If people have free will to choose, then what spirit spells rituals are for? So yes, I believe in free will, and I think that science and quantum mechanics are kind of really showing that choice has a role to play in what happens. So, and I think that magic is basically helping reality conform to your choices, what you're asking for. I'm not sure what you mean by the second part of your question, though. If people have free will to choose, then what spells rituals are for? That, I don't think you typed that quite right. But yeah, go ahead and ask any other questions you have while I'm here, if you have anything. Those were the two things I wanted to cover, was just ask you guys what you guys thought of the Monier thing, and then let you know about the path workings and what's coming up. I'm kind of excited about getting to another watchtower. So love spells and yeah, I mean there's free will, but that doesn't mean that you can't use magic to influence people or to make someone do something else. I mean, just because there's free will doesn't mean you can't fuck with it. So what is important? What is lineage and what's important? What's it to do with magic? Um, okay, so a lineage is basically like in general what lineage means is like you can be like your family line is your lineage. You come from your mother and your father who come from their mother and father who come and so on. Um, if you like a magical lineage is like who teaches you and their teacher and who taught them and their teacher and their and so on. And then with attunements, because that's probably what I'm assuming you probably are actually really referring to. Um, like I created the attunement, so I'm the founder of that attunement, and then I give it to you, and then so your lineage is simply you and then me, and then if you give the attunement to someone, then their lineage is you and then me, and if they give someone the attunement, then it goes from that person to that person to you to me, and so that's what a lineage is, and it's really a lot more important in the um, like in the East with like the gurus and stuff and who your teacher is and who their teacher was. And that's what guru means is teacher. And on like that. Um, in the West, it's usually not as nearly as big a deal, but it can be in certain orders and stuff. And I think in like Christianity, it really like there's a verse in the Bible that really kind of was like because people are starting to do that. They're like, I was baptized by Paul. Well, I was baptized by John. Well, I was baptized by Peter, and it became like a big deal. And they're like, stop that. That's stupid. Quit it. So that kind of cut a lot of the lineage stuff in Christianity. But like the bishops are technically supposed to still the apostolic succession from the apostles to the first bishops, and then all of the bishops now are still um, passed on from one to another, and so that's technically a lineage that goes back supposedly to Christ. So that's what a lineage is. What do I think of stuff like karmic laws, Ten Commandments, and so on are just there to control people's behavior? There's no universal law that correlates with humanity views on ethics and morality. I believe that ethics and morality are human made, and there's really no. Um, I don't believe that there's a law. No. Um, I think that spirits can guide us, and they can and give us things that help us at the time. But like, I don't think that they're necessarily meant to be forever. Like pork used to be dangerous because if it wasn't cooked properly, you would get worms. But like now, we have other methods and it's not as dangerous. So, we don't need the prohibition against eating pork. Um, Stuff like that. Because most of the rules were really about keeping people safe or sustaining um, a community. And I don't but I also don't take the other extreme view that they were just made up to control people either. It's like it's a spectrum, but it's like maybe some were, and at some point the priesthoods might have come in and rewritten some of it to be a little bit more that way. But people need rules in a society. And it's perfectly normal to insist on some kind of rules to live within, and especially as a community grows larger and larger. And I don't think that everything like it's not always like it sounds so nefarious when people are like, oh well, they just made that to control us. It's like, well, it's not that bad. It's like to keep the peace and to keep everyone together and working together as a community. But of course, then it can go too far. It moves into tyranny. But so I think it's a little bit of both, but not so much. I don't. I mean, again, I think that these things need to be revisited every century or so, because things change. So Choronzom, Crowley changed the spelling. It's actually Choronzom with an M at the end and no H at the beginning. He is the idea of separation. He's the angel of dispersion. Like that is his title. Even in the Enochian system, he is the angel of dispersion. So he's not a demon. And Crowley, I think, saw him as sort of a protean figure that kept shifting and changing. My experience with Choronzom was a little bit different. Initially, from based on what Crowley was saying, I kind of thought Choronzom is sort of like the mirror of your ego. But now I know better. Choronzom is that first sense of separation that, so if God is non-dual and there is only just consciousness, the idea that there could be more than one, or that God could separate itself in any way, that idea of separation is Choronzom. And so therefore all separation from God from that beginning on down is Choronzom and their offspring, you might say. So from one point of view, you can say that, well, that's demonic, and that's what keeps separating, and that's what causes all separation and suffer, and therefore all suffering, which is true. However, from the other point of view, without separation, we wouldn't exist as we are. There would be no creation. There would just be pure consciousness. So it just depends on your point of view on whether that's good or bad. Does that make sense? What can I expect if I get the Omnipotence Attunement? I work with Angels of Omnipotence regularly. Can you please elaborate on this attunement and how to get the most out of it? The power of the Angels of Omnipotence will then move through you, and you can project it, its energy, and you can manifest. It's just like any other attunement. It's just with them, and therefore it's pretty strong and powerful. And you can do whatever you want with it. You can do they're omnipotent. They have all these powers that, like, you can do anything. I went into a lot of detail in the manuals about some different things, but you can, like, and I have a whole book about it. Like, just check those out. So I prayed for the logos, but I still don't understand the concept much. Could you talk more about it, since I didn't grow up with it? So the logos is, it comes from the Greek philosophers, the concept of the logos, but the logos means the word, and in, like, the Bible, it says that in the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and the word was God. So the logos is, like, if you imagine, so this is from a Christian's perspective. God is silent when it spoke one word, and that word was Jesus, who is the logos, the one word. And then the word is sort of the action of God, and who makes the world and then does all of the things. Like, everything from that perspective, everything that happens in the Bible that says it's God is either an angel or it's the logos, who is Jesus, who would become Jesus, and who would become manifest as Jesus. So that is the logos. But the logos, on a different way of looking at it, is, if you kind of remove the Jesus thing from it, is still that action of God, the active. So sort of the from a magical perspective is the sword, and that's why, like, you see in Revelations, Jesus has a sword for a tongue. It's that action, the active, creative element of God. And from what my understanding from things that my revelations, we are the Logos. Each and every one of us is the Logos. It resides within all of us. And Jesus simply understood that at a much deeper level than the average person ever will, and was able to fully kind of embody that, but that we can all do that. We are all the Logos, and that's why I say that we are the holy children. Why do some magicians stay trapped in cycles of vengeance? People who throw curses because somebody doesn't like them. I don't get it. Because they're immature. Just because you're a magician doesn't mean that you grow up. They're just immature and petty, mean people, and they've usually been powerless their whole life, and now they have a power that they can hurt people, and so they do. Like, it's a mistake to think that magicians are automatically um, good, healthy people. It's like, that's just, they're the mix of everyone else. They can be just as ignorant. They can be just as resentful or fearful or hateful or bigoted as everyone else. I mean, just you also have to remember, like, there are literal Nazis out there. There are whole orders of people, like the Order of the Nine Angles. This is a Nazi left-hand path group. They still worship fucking Hitler as a god, and they want to make the world. They think might makes right, which is backwards, obviously, because the Nazis lost, but whatever. And they want to use black magic to conquer the world, and so you've got all the whole gamut of humanity is in the magical community. So, and some of them just are awful and they suck, and some are just petty, some are So yeah. If someone has wronged us and we want to bring them to justice, but we don't do anything, would there be a force to level their deeds out and bring justice regardless if they don't regret? So, so you're not cursing them, and you're just asking if, in general, there's going to be something to get them. Maybe. I mean, you see, sometimes people do get their comeuppance. Usually, it's because they keep being awful, and eventually something happens to them. But you also see a lot of people get away with it. I mean, just look at some of the horrible people in the news that we have every day. You see horrible people have done horrible things, and they go unpunished all the time. No, there's no justice like in this world that we don't create. Um, you've got to ask for it. You've got to pray for it. You've got to do something about it. And you've got to do the work for it. Like, that's the thing. Like, that's why evil people will win if the good people don't stand up and fight it. Because if you're expecting like the force of good to suddenly manifest and make things okay, then you're not doing it right. We have to do these things. We've got to, and you can sit there and you can do the magic, and that's good. But you can also do the mundane stuff of going out there and making sure that justice is done. Like, I don't know the situation, but if they've broken the law, you can get involved or get the cops involved, or if you don't want to do that, like, what I mean, I don't know the situations. I don't know what's going on, but like, no, there's nothing's going to happen if people don't get involved to make things better. It doesn't matter if it's someone that's just done something slight to slight you, or someone is, I don't know. I mean, God, just look at history. History, like, rulers of the world and kingdoms, like, they get away with it. They do horrible things and they get away with it. So I mean, obviously, there's no force of justice that just sits out there and makes sure justice gets done. That's not how it works. I'm learning more about vampirism and psychic attacks. Are they the same? Do we need several protection rituals, but what's a quick way to guard against this, and why do people use vampirism? No, there's different kinds of psychic attacks, but in general, if you're protecting, like if you're just doing protections, usually you're protected against everything to some degree. I mean, you can go and get protected specifically against this and specifically against that. Just depends on what you think someone's trying to do to you. They're not exactly the same. Like vampirism is specifically when someone tries to drain you of your either vital energy or your luck and good fortune. That one's more common in people have studied in the East or Eastern traditions. Why do people use vampirism? Because they suck. Because, like, again, immature, and it can be kind of a rush. So I guess it's sort of like, the same reason it gives you energy, and it makes people feel powerful. And a lot of people out there have they've never had any power. And as soon as they get some, they use it and they abuse it. Like, I'm not one of the people that believe that power like automatically corrupts, but power reveals who you really are. And so a lot of people are just immature and childlike and have no, it's a form of inadequacy. But yeah, that's the problem. Is just, and that's our problem all around. Is we have a bunch of people who are really deeply immature. We have everything is based on a sense of lack and scarcity. We feel like we don't have enough. We're told that there's not enough to go around. So we believe that there's not enough to go around, and then everyone is afraid that they're not going to have enough and that someone's going to take what they have. And, and everyone's so, I'm not meaning this necessarily in a bad way, but everyone is so comfortable and coddled in today's world that there's not a whole lot that forces someone to grow up. It's very easy for someone to be in their 30s or 40s and still be basically emotionally a 12-year-old. And then you see it in every aspect of life right now. I mean, trying not to get political, but you can see one of the people running for president right now is very much a very broken, immature person who just can't handle anyone saying bad things about them. They're just such a child. And yeah, I mean, it's just anyway. That's what's the problem is. There's so much. There's just a lot of things wrong with our society right now. Well, yeah, there's a lot of people, like someone saying that they had someone get mad at them for having a nice day. There's a lot of people out there that are miserable, and they will hate you for being happy. So when I was in prison, there's this weird thing that happens in prison, and I'm not trying to advocate anybody to go to prison. Don't get me wrong. But when you're in prison, you kind of are forced to deal with this stuff. Like like all those things I was talking about where everyone's too coddled and they don't, they're not forced to grow up. When you go to prison, you're forced to grow up. You're forced to deal with things. And there's a certain amount of, and some people get it and some people don't. I'm not saying everyone that goes to prison does. Some people freak out and they have their old prison fantasy where they get to, go do whatever they want and fuck boys. That's just their thing. And, but a lot of people in there, they find a sense of inner freedom and joy that the guards don't have. And they hate it. They hate it so much. They see that you have somehow become more fulfilled than they ever will be in that prison, and they hate you for it. And they hate you for it. And I cannot, in Texas, the prison guards are paid below the poverty level. So it's not the best of the best that are there at all. They're not professionals in any way, shape, or form. Anyone with any sense gets out of there as quick as they can if they ever even enter into it. So we're dealing with a lot of very unprofessional people who aren't being paid a lot. And they're very miserable and they're very hateful and they're almost there just to hurt people and to torture people. And these are the guards. These aren't the inmates. These are the guards. And the worst thing that that pisses them off more than anything is to see you happy. And it's that thing. And yeah, there's just, and you can see it with people who are maybe they've been dumped or it's been a while since they've had a relationship and they see people that are in a relationship and they're happy and they get resentful. It's just human nature, but again, it's an immature feeling. It doesn't come from a healthy place at all. And there's just a lot of people like that. I'm sorry, Juan, we're already finished with the prayer service part. We're just having a little conversation Q&A thing right now. So, you can either rewatch this or you can and just do your prayers yourself or wait till next week. Yeah, so someone's saying that they've had a lot of people who do that who hate them for being happy and it's caused them to hide it and then they lose it. It's like, no, don't do that. You got to just do it. Be happy. Fuck them. Just do it. You can't, it's not worth people, making other people comfortable is not worth being miserable. So anybody got anything else? Oh, so parallel universe theory. So, okay, here's hers. Talk about this. Okay. If God is infinite, then by definition, everything that exists within God is everything. That means everything that could potentially exists in some version of reality. And I've kind of talked about this before, and it's almost to me like, this is why I don't really believe in the tree of life and Kether. It's like where Kether is just everything, and it's all there, and so every potential thing is already there, and they're all little imagine it's more like it's all frozen in time. There's no time. And the way everything actually works is that our consciousness is moving through things, and we move through the different universes based on our choices. And so by choosing to pick this up right now, I've moved into a universe where I pick that up. And we're in every choice we're making, we're moving through these, because every frozen nanosecond or even shorter than that, is its own little universe, and we're moving through them all. So it's all out there, and you can use magic to help move you into the universe that has where you have the thing you want. Is it possible to have a god visit your attunement servitor? Anything is possible. I mean, I don't know why they would, but it is possible. So, yeah, it's possible. But yeah, the multiple reality time thing, it's all very abstract, and it's hard to wrap your head around. But once you do, and again, it's a working model. Like, you can't really imagine what it's really like. So but it's but the best way is, like, you just, kind of like the way animation works, where you have several different still frames that you see so fast it appears to be creating motion. That's our consciousness moving through these set points at such a fast rate, it creates the illusion of motion. What are my most useful thought forms? The servitors that I make, I have the attunement servitor, and then I have a custom servitor that I'll make to your what you want. When you pick the purpose and the powers within reason. Like, this is the thing a lot of people don't understand is, like, a servitor can have one purpose, and then you can have a few powers based on that one purpose. Do I differentiate between Lucifer, Shaitan, Samael, and consider them the same entity? It all depends. Like, I don't work within the Abrahamic worldview anymore. So I don't, like I said, I don't work with Kabbalah. I don't work within that Abrahamic worldview, so I don't really deal with a lot of this. But no, they're all different as far as I'm concerned. Samael is the archangel of Mars. Lucifer, I mean, that name it comes from a Roman god, and Shaitan is a title that means accuser. They're never conceptually the same. That's something that came much later, where Christianity just kind of put them all together to be the devil. And I don't believe that there is a devil. So, yeah, they're all different, and they have different purposes. All right. Anyone else got anything? I'm going to probably leave here in a minute. So, last chance this week if you have any questions. I mean, yeah, I don't really. So, you've created a servitor. And I mean, we all have some. I'm not going to go through the list of my servitors now. Enochian is okay. Enochian and Kabbalah are not the same. They are Enochian slightly influenced by Kabbalah in that John Dee knew of Kabbalah. He knew, but only in the sense of how people worked with the Hebrew language and the divine names and such that the tree of life was contemporary with him. A little bit earlier, Lurian was doing that, was writing about that around the time like probably like a generation before D, but that information had not gotten to England at that point, and so he would have not had any knowledge of like the tree of life. And when what we kind of think of as Kabbalah today, and since Kabbalah is really sort of the magic of the Torah and of the Hebrew language, and then kind of, and from that they've kind of extrapolated the tree of life and these other things. It is they're very separate, and yes, Dee and Kelly were Christian, very Christian, and the angels or entities that were speaking to them spoke to them in Christian terms. However, if you pay a close attention, they're almost kind of yada yada-ing them when they're like, so they'd be like, so the Antichrist is real, right? He's been born, and the angels are like, I'm trying to teach you how the universe works. Yeah, but the Antichrist is real, right? Like, yeah, sure. And they would do this a lot of times, they were like, can we have buried treasure? We want buried treasure. And they're like, we're trying to teach you how creation works and how magic works and all of this. Yeah, but we don't care about that. We want buried treasure. They're like, here, have these talismans, and then go over here and go look for buried treasure. And they would go do that. And then finally, when the angels like, there's no buried treasure, they're fucking with you, right? And they'd be like, oh. So the angels very much were just telling them a lot of times what they wanted to hear to shut them up. Now, within the actual, like when you really like dig in, I guess there are very apocalyptic sounding things in the calls, and it all does have a very Christian framework. But again, all this stuff is moving through Christians' minds. But if you start looking at it, it's not the same. Like the reason, and the thing with Kabbalah, what people are missing with Kabbalah a lot of times because they're not studying it from its source material, is that Kabbalah is very Jewish. And the ultimate answer to all of the questions in Kabbalah is like, how do you move up through the tree of life, and how do we organize? The whole idea of the Sephiroth is like, you have that tree of life, and that's the idealized version that's within yourself, and then also reflected in all of creation. But they're all out of order in real life, and they're moving around, and you have to reorient them and straighten out your thing in your own life. And then if everyone does that, then it'll help straighten everything out in the world. But the way that you do that is by following the law of Moses. And I don't believe in the law of Moses, and I'm not going to follow that. But that's, and that's where we, like, that separation happened at some point in the Renaissance, where Christians took these Kabbalistic ideas, but they divorced them from Judaism. And then there's like Hermeticism got mixed in and stuff, but like Kabbalah is like still being practiced by like real Jewish people, and in things that have never been translated out of Hebrew. And I don't like taking another culture's thing that's incomplete. We don't even have a complete version of it. So I'm not going to waste my time like working with something that I don't have the full thing and can never have the full thing because I'm not part of that culture. So Enochian was given to an English guy at the beginning of right at the dawn of the British Empire. I'm primarily, my ancestors come from England, so it's just a natural fit. There's no, like, I've got all of it. None of it's hidden from me. I can work with it as it was intended. There's some of the extreme Christian fanaticism that's been worked into it is real easy to brush off. You see that the angels aren't super into it anyway. And you have, and it's not like I'm against Christ, I'm against like the church and the churches and what they have done to it. So it all still worked within my framework. So that's why and plus it just works for me. It's just like even without, before I even knew any of that stuff, it just worked for me really well. So that's why I gravitated towards it. But and that's what that's why I encourage everyone to look into these systems, work with them, find what works for you, find what you like and what you resonate with, and then dig into it. And if you feel like as you're digging into it, and then, well, maybe this isn't something for me, then you go find something else. And then, yeah. And so that's how I've done it. And it works really well for me, but no, they're similar in the ways that almost all magical systems have some similarities. And they do kind of operate within that. There's some inspiration there from the Abrahamic framework, but it's not as nearly into the Abrahamic worldview as something like Kabbalah or Christian Kabbalah would be. And also, if you look at like Aaron Leach, he's a Gnostic, and he's adapted the whole thing to fit his Gnostic worldview. So very few people work with Enochian in that extreme Christian way that Dee did anyway. Do jinn lie? All spirits will lie. Usually they'll lie to you there's all kinds of reasons they lie to you. But yes, the jinn will lie, angels will lie, your holy guardian angel will lie. Tricksters, like there's trickster spirits, and jinn are often could be trickster spirits. Like, am I saying all jinn lie? No, but some will. So, yeah, you always have to use discernment with everything. Don't just assume that what they tell you is true. All right, so it's after 3:30, so I gotta go, and I will see you guys next week. And if you're in the 151 group, I will announce probably in the next couple of days if I'm going to do the Money thing next week. And if I do, we probably won't have a Q&A, an open Q&A. We'll probably talk about Money. But I have to work on it, make sure I want to do that. And but it's looking like I probably will. We'll see. But yeah, I'll announce that in the group, so keep an eye out for that. And then we'll be starting the Paths of Harmony next week. So I'll look forward to that. And I will see you all next week. Thank you all for being here. Oh, the blessing. Thank you. He that is the first, sustain us. She that is the end, beautify us. Angels of the Lord, guard us from all torment. Comfort us in all discord and light our way to supreme life. God of righteousness, pour down love, pleasure, healing, glory, gold, peace, and the secret joy of God. Mother of wisdom, pour down divine knowledge upon us. He that sits on the holy throne, crown us and enthrone us in power. Move us to be mighty and rejoice in the power of creation. In the name of the Father, the Mother, and the holy children. El Gahage, Galva, Ubsge, Nek Nakad, Dia Iad, Bronx, Get Told Mir, Lurax, Gi Tol, Os, Old Opirit, Ge Insidiabis, Ba'i Beovid, Panpir Bjorga, Kirasahi Kaniliman, Kakaman, Bustir, Adkalin, Thazi, Ada, Yada, Mozad, Ananaya, Panpir, Iad Namad, Mirge, Ido Ego Momar, Ad Valor Kos Pax, Ge Amicals, Zakam Ge De Omicals, Ad Kirlam, Ge Gi Mikalzo, De Kaas, Gaad Dawayan Yada, Oxentasser Agnenoromi, Paid. All right. You all have a good, blessed week, and we will see you here at the same time next week. Bye bye.